What's going on, guys? So here we are with the 18Z calipers. I've gone ahead and already pulled this one apart, so I'm going to show you how I bonded these bushings in. So I got lucky in my bushing assortment. Forgot to record this when I was installing, so I was like, oh crap, I got to leave one out so I can do it and show you guys, how I did it. You don't have to do this. You could probably even use like gray or black RTV, just some kind of bonding agent to hold the bushing in place. That's literally all it's doing, because these are what's called a slip fit, not an interference fit. So on a slip fit, all it does is literally just boop, slides in. On an interference fit, normally you'll either chill the bushing down like super cold, like 0 degrees cold, and then press it in, and then when it warms up, the metal expands just enough that it does it. I'm using an industrial bonding adhesive from Henkel Corporation, EA 9324. It's used as a metal bonding agent where you can bond like bushings like this together. Now, granted, this is still a little sticky because it has a 7-day cure time and it's super humid, and my wife told me no to put this in the oven and bake it that way. So we're just gonna let it naturally air cure. I'm gonna go ahead and put the phone on the stand so you can watch me lay this up with a little 9394. Got my little mixing cup right here, got it all mixed up, and it's 100 to 17 on ratio. You can measure it grams per volume or whatever. I mixed way too big of a batch because I had enough to do all 8 bushings in both calipers. So I'm going to go ahead and put the phone on a stand, and you can watch me just put these in. Use my little, this has a PTFE Teflon tape over the top of it, just a washer. It's a 7/16 headed bolt. I think quarter 28 on the thread count, probably. Doesn't really matter because it's going to match this other Teflon coated washer and that little nut right there. I'm going to zip it all together. So let me move my stand, get my other one out, because this is the one that I already did both sides on. And you can see it doesn't really matter what size nuts and bolts and washers. All you're trying to do with this is squeeze the bushings together as tight as possible without damaging the bushing or the caliper, because remember, these are steel bushings going in aluminum calipers. I'm not really super concerned about the expansion rate of steel being quicker than aluminum, or the fact that the steel will retain heat faster than the aluminum. We'll see. If I end up cracking these mounting lugs, then I'll know steel was not the choice, and to go with an aluminum insert instead. I may or may not still change these out. I also have stainless steel as well. I do not have aluminum, but I do have a good friend that can machine aluminum, so he could easily make me the bushings, spacers, and again, I'm still gonna have my buddy Travis cut me out the mounting brackets once I have them designed out of 3/8 plate steel, maybe even 1/2 inch. Not super sure on exactly what I want. Again, I got to get these mocked up. I got to use the aluminum scraps that I have inside to use as a mounting to mock up, get the design down, and then once I have the design finished, because only one of these holes is actually going to be mounted to the spindle. Ugh. God dang it. So, anyway. Only one's going to mount to the spindle. Because these are leading calipers, it's always rotating forward. I figured the strongest mounting point would be up here for a straight bolt through caliper. Boop, right here. So that's the one that I'm going to maintain. And then down here is probably where it's going to stand off. Not like 1/2 inch. It's insanely small. Just to be able to have, or try to get as close to achieving a proper pad to rotor contact, because you can see this has a noticeable wear groove here and up here, and so I'm trying, obviously the Brembos that are on the Evo 10s are smaller than these big ass 6-piston here. However, these are 350 millimeter rotors. The Porsche Cayenne that this came off of, because these are 18Z calipers, are 355, maybe 350. I can never find a definite answer on that. But again, at 5 millimeters, 2.5 millimeters on either direction, I mean, that's so minor. I just want to make sure I don't get pad to overhang, which would cause weird braking issues when trying to stop. Trying to make sure I keep the pad well within the face of the rotor. So let me put this on the stand so you can see how I put this together. And again, it's incredibly simple. Like, it's like silly simple. Just don't hit a button. And we're gonna just oopsie doodles. And I guess we'll zoom in a little bit, but again, all I'm gonna do is take my little acid brush here and coat my bushing. And don't really worry about if you get any of the epoxy that smears out. That's fine. Make a nice little fillet around here, and then again, we're just gonna come back in with our little 90-degree dot co and just kind of touch that up. We're gonna clean this hole up really good with a drill bit, I believe, because the bolts themselves are 12 millimeter, 12 by 125, so that's close to a 1/2 inch drill bit. And then after the drill bit, we'll go ahead and, oh yeah, like a glove. Try to keep as much schmutz from going over the side as possible. Like I said, it's not super concerning. I just like to keep the hole clean. And then you just, again, come back in. And like I said, I made way too much, but that's okay. Okay, don't worry about getting any on the outside. You know, there's really no wrong way. There's no mistakes when doing this. You just have happy little bushing accidents, you know, happy little sealant accidents. Right here. Boop. That's literally it, man. Just put it in there. Come do this to put a nice fillet around. Try not to get this crap everywhere, even though this particular caliper is kind of foobar. Rock Auto pissed me off because of it. Because do that, man. I should put gloves on next time if you're doing stuff with any kind of hazmat or hazardous material or whatever you want to do. Make sure you wear some gloves, even though I literally have gloves behind me. I just forgot to grab them because I wanted to get this done and over so I could go relax, because it's about 76 degrees here in Jacksonville, Florida, and yeah, about 99% humidity. So anyway, let's go ahead and pop this off. Now what you're looking at is these guide pins here for the brake caliper pads. Sorry, I should have just said pads for the caliper. They're corroding really bad. That's rust. And then you can see in here, you get a little, I'm gonna go with exfoliation corrosion in here. So they didn't do a good job media blasting before they put these together. So even though I plan on changing the color of the calipers, I didn't want to have to fully disassemble the caliper because I was just going to use high heat paint. I'm really big fan of teal because I really love Project Mu. I just think it's a really cool color combo. The car is going to go gold on its calipers. Pretty sure gold, because the overall car is going to be blue eventually. Get rid of that red, the Caracas red. or carcass, or however you want to say it. But yeah, you can see all of that in there, man. Just look at it flaking off. That pisses me off so much, man. Especially when you're spending, I think with the core charge, it was like $180 plus per caliper. I think I was actually north of like $2 for these. I also have the matching rears as well. The rears are the same between the 18 and the 17Z. Same with the rotors in the rear on the Porsche Cayenne. So no really worries there. Let me go ahead and put the phone back on the stand. We'll put this together. Again, it's super quick. Just zip it together, let it cure. It's, again, 7-day cure time to full cure at just normal room temperature, or you can speed that up by cooking it at 150 degrees for 4 hours, I want to say. Can't remember off the top of my head. I mess with so many different sealants and resins and epoxies every day. It's sometimes hard to keep track. So yeah, it doesn't really matter where it falls in there. That's all you're trying to do. Put that there. Put the nut on there. Don't put it on crooked like me. And take your 5/16 for your nut, your 7/16 for your screw head, because I'm resourceful. Then yeah, just take it. That's it. Clean up anything that may have got a little schmutz on it. You know, and just leave it set. Once it's fully cured, like I said, it get fully cured in 7 days. Maybe a little sooner if the heats kick up. Might think about after 24 hours taking it to work and using one of the cool ovens we have at work just to finish them off. I'm just concerned about baking over 150 for these caliper piston seals. I'm sure these things see north of 250 all the time, but I'm hoping to keep brake temperatures down. I still have to design the brake duct setup for the back of this. And again, there's so many moving pieces to that, because when we look at it, let me take the phone out of the holder again. Sorry guys, I didn't realize this was going to be a long video. But so as you can see, you only really have one pocket here, kind of sort of something up in here, which really you don't, and then back here, which is probably where I'm going to be going. And once I have the heat shield on, because I have stock VR4 heat shields, I'm going to pull one out of the box tomorrow, slap it on, find the correct length hardware for here. Again, these work for right now. Put the heat shield on. I got to press that back out so I can put the heat shield on. And then definitely going to have to trim the edge. Going to make a custom carbon fiber one. And then back here is where I'm going to have a duct to be able to channel air into the back of the rotor. Again, the rotors rotate forward. It's going to draw air in and push it out. And if you look for all these cooling vanes that are in here, again, they all act as a channel, act as an air pump. And as it's spinning forward, it's drawing air in from the back and pushing it out of the top, cooling the rotor. And since I want to, sorry about that autofocus, since I really want to end up autocrossing this car professionally, road racing, still want to daily it, but the end goal is to be able to go and run tracks like Sebring, maybe even eventually make it a contender for IMSA. I really want to challenge the Lexus Vassar Sullivan boys with tech that's 25 years older than theirs, something like that. Again, this really isn't that much older. Again, just it's a matter of putting pieces of the puzzle together, and it's a really easy puzzle. These are really great brakes. The Evo X and the 3000 GT VR4, ironically, are pretty close in size comparison for weight. I still would like to fabricate a lot of tubular stuff for the rear. I know there's a lot of great companies out there, like Paul Volk, for example. He makes some fantastic parts, and they are well worth every single penny of it, from what he charges. And I may end up going with Volk Racing, I may not. I was really thinking about channeling and building a tubular rear subframe, obviously full rear subframe supports and all that. And then, yeah. So again, that's where it's at. Just one little bolt through there. Did find some more of these M12 in my multiple collection of hundreds and hundreds of fasteners, nuts, bolts, washers, etc. I'm gonna take this one apart. I may start dabbling with the bracket design tonight, trying to figure out where I need to go, how far I need to be, how thick it needs to be. I mean, obviously I have washers over here, right there, for shimming purposes. I'm literally trying to have this bracket as close to perfect as possible as far as keeping the caliper centered over the rotor. And if I can maintain that, I would like to build a one-piece bracket. But one of the things that I already know is for whichever hole is going to be sticking out, and then it's going to require a countersunk fastener, and finding a countersunk fastener with any shank on it is almost impossible. The ones that I found are full thread, and not really super keen on that. I'm trying to make sure that I would like a press fit fastener. Press fit would be great, however I'd have no way to tighten it down to the lower or upper knuckle mount. And again, it's going to be the lower one. I've already decided that's what I'm going to do. It's just going to barely push the caliper out. But trying to find a grade 10-9 or the like, countersunk 12-125 with like a ½ inch shoulder on it. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. And then let's see about getting this bracket designed. And I'm running out of time, so once I get this video uploaded, I'm going to have to go back in, delete some things, move some stuff around. And yeah, appreciate you guys sticking with me through this magical journey of horrors, and eventually we'll have an all-wheel drive 3000 GT 99 with a 6G75 swap with big brakes.